So today I'm going to talk to you about an alternative to current grading systems that lessens grading time, but more importantly, it engages learners in meaningful discourse around complex concepts and ideas. Now, I loved being a teacher, but grading sucks, and one of the things I liked least about teaching was grading papers. First of all, it's not sustainable at scale. Grading 39 essays for 5 classes every other week was taxing. Secondly, the interaction around grading is often not productive. Time is spent arguing about points, giving feedback that may or may not be used, and students really just want to know, is this what you want? And this is because while assessments can serve both summative and formative functions, the summative have the potential to undermine the formative. And this can have disastrous effects on the assessment and learning ecosystems. Even informal assessments can make learners feel like failures and discourage engagement. Even ungraded rubrics can turn creative events into dreary procedures with unsustainable expectation for detailed feedback. Fortunately, there's another way. New participatory approaches to assessment offer an alternative that balances the summative and formative assessment functions. Participatory assessment is a curricular framework inspired by situative approaches to assessment that takes a broader view of learning than conventional behavioral and cognitive theories. This leads to a broader view of what constitutes assessment. One of the key guiding principles of participatory assessment is to grade reflections rather than artifacts. This means that we protect participation by not directly assessing the artifacts students create in projects and assignments. Rather than weight the artifact heavily, have students reflect on how that artifact documents their engagement, not their knowledge, with specific practices around valued concepts and skills. Now, much of the driving force behind this work is to foster as much of what Engel and Conant call productive disciplinary engagement. We want engagement to be disciplinary around valued concepts, but we also want it to be productive. So, we ask students to reflect on their consequential, critical, and collaborative engagement around knowledge tools. These reflections elicit articulation of understanding that known answer questions may not stimulate. By grading reflections rather than artifacts, teachers, mentors, facilitators, and peers engage learners as critical thinkers around their own learning process, helping them to become independent and autonomous learners. Now, when teachers are first presented with this idea, they're often hesitant, and for good reason, but this has worked in undergraduate, high school, and graduate contexts very effectively to increase participation and balance summative and formative assessment functions. In the summer of 2012, we put on a hack jam with a local library. Young hackers ages 13 to 20 attended a 6-hour hack jam where they learned HTML and CSS as they legally hacked the local newspaper. Now, this was a 6-hour day in the middle of the summer, so we needed to design curriculum that taught the content but didn't make kids feel like they were going to school. So we carefully crafted reflective assessments that pointed to productive disciplinary engagement without feeling like an assignment. We outlined the web knowledge to be learned, the activities to be completed, the reflection questions, and the criteria for earning a badge for all the skill sets and projects the kids were supposed to create that day. Then we asked students to reflect on how their engagement with the activities affected the way they understood the concepts. In order to get the more advanced badge, students had to reflect on their productive disciplinary engagement. And what resulted were clear examples of productive disciplinary engagement, as you can see by these quotes. But the day remained fun and informative, as did the activities. And we don't have time to get into it right now, but we have a lot of evidence of this. This has worked in a variety of contexts, but in each case it has worked because instead of flipping classrooms, we're flipping learning. This wouldn't work with the current flipping the classroom model. Contexts have to give meaning to concepts and skills. So grade reflections rather than artifacts and transform learning ecosystems into participatory learning environments that foster productive, disciplinary engagement. Thank you.